And Mohammed, I mean, I know that you don't invest in monkeys or NFTs like from reaction.
We're as Web 2 as it gets.
It's a reaction because I initially didn't allow it. So.
So why did you tell us a little bit more? What are you looking at when you're looking at companies like, and give us, because, I've been walking around and there are so many companies.
Yes.
So as an investor, it's pretty hard to understand, okay, where do I go? There are so many companies, so many sectors. So what's your process? How do you define what you're choosing?
Well, the first answer is go to everybody, right? Raising capital is a statistical game. You're going to have to talk to everybody in the region, outside the region, and let the math work itself out, because that's just the math. You're going to talk to 100, resonate with 20, 10 are going to invite to talk to you, 5 are going to do DD, 2 are going to engage, maybe 1 or 2. So get the 100. Let the statistics be on your side. But in terms of NAMA, and this is a very important question for the entrepreneurs here and the ones on the other side, is we say we are sector agnostic. And we say we're early stage, so we've already opted into the riskiest of the asset class, which is early stage venture capital, which in itself is part of alternative investments, which is the riskier asset class in terms of the asset allocation of money, right? From CDs to we're on the farthest on the risk spectrum, right? But we are entrusted from our LPs to make that dollar $10, right? So we have to inject some discipline and some parameters to de-risk the thing that is already risky, which is okay, we're okay with it, right? High risk, high reward. We opted into this work. So we still are sector agnostic. We think the region still cannot justify vertically specialized funds. But when we say sector agnostic, we're still transactional in nature. We like to see a product or a service for that rial or for that dirham or for that dinar. So we tend to not do things in gaming, Web3, media, just because of the lack of direct transactional in nature. So that's our sector agnostic, but there's a double click on it. We also think entrepreneurship is a team sport. So we want to make sure that we invest in teams. And even the term team, we double click on it. Because remember, we are first money in, right? So there's not much you can base on except the belief that the team around you are able to execute on the vision that they're communicating. So we believe entrepreneurship is a team sport. By the way, everything I say is not the truth, it's a truth, right? So there are great solo founders, there are great funds that, in YC, which is 1,000 times better than NAMA, 9% of their batch is from, solo founders. But if you double click on their solo founders, they tend to be, repeat founders, etc. So even that, collect the data on the pedigree of those solo founders. For NAMA, it's a team, but with complementary skill sets. So we want to see a clear definition. Who's the domain experts? Who's al-bayya? Who's the seller? Who's the person that has that domain expertise, that saw that gap, that pain, that inefficiency, and usually come from that space. But that person buddied up with a geek, with a coder, that took that vision and translate, you're the seller and I'm the geek, took that vision and translated into code. And in some businesses, especially on the logistics side, you probably need a third musketeer, which is the ops person. So somebody's selling, somebody's doing, somebody's operating. And then we go a step further and we say, we want to see role clarity. We want to see somebody waking up Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, selling. Somebody waking up Sunday, Monday, as a matter of fact, you don't see them. They're in the dungeon coding, right? That's all they do. They're sheltered. And somebody out making sure the stuff works. So team, complementary skill sets that have role clarity, going after a de-risked business model. So I left Silicon Valley, right? I was an engineer, turned engineering manager, turned entrepreneur. I'm still active angel investor there, but I opted to create value in this part of the world. So although we're taking risk, we want to de-risk it by taking execution risk and not business model risk. So Sella just announced, we're part of our early investors in it. Alhamdulillah, is doing very well. That's the Shopify of MENA, right? Tamara is the buy now, pay later Affirm or Klarna of MENA. Calo is the Hungry of MENA. So we look for de-risk business models and replicate very early on, or find founders that are willing, with complementary team and skill sets and role clarity, to go after these de-risk business model. And then the fifth one, which is a sane valuation, right? So if you want Nama's check and the value add, and I see my two colleagues, Talal and Shahad, working hard, and the 7 in the back end, making sure we take people from an idea, or not an idea, actually, that's a good reason. To us, a startup at pre-seed, first money in, at Nama is post-product with an initial set of traction. And by the way, it's a dynamic world, right? We used to say post-product, pre-revenue, and we've made bets where we saw a great team with complementary skill sets, they have role clarity, going after these, but somehow the traction never happened, or the initiate. So as funds, we're always adjusting. We're looking back, we're collecting the data. So today, Nama is a post-product, pre-revenue fund with the parameters that I talked about.